What's going on, everybody? So it's been a little while since I've updated everybody. Pardon the wet hair. Um, if you're always blow drying your hair and putting your hair through the blow dryers and all that stuff, it's always good to let it dry on its own so it doesn't fry. Um, so the update, super happy. Um, I'm probably about 80% back on my hip. Next week, my last treatment with the myofascial specialist. And then it's just still continuing the rehab and strengthening um, and regaining the strength back in my leg. The flexibility is coming back. Flexibility is pretty much not quite all the way 100%. I'd probably say my flexibility is probably at 80-85%. So stoked. Come Monday, back in the gym. I would have tried it this week, but my feet are still recovering from the tattoos, so trying not to put shoes on most of the time. It's great when I can work from home on the computer. Um, Everything is feeling a little not so tight, so I'm stoked. My roommate, my bestie, we're hitting the gym, so we're gonna start. I'm gonna have her filming some stuff of what we're gonna do and hit the gym with, and yeah, I'm super excited on that. Uh, so the update on the hip. Everybody kept coming up to me and saying, "Oh, maybe it's the bone." Trust me, I know what I'm doing. Even my doctor said, "Oh my God, you progress so fast because you know what you're doing." I've been doing personal training, post-rehab stuff since 1997, 1998. That was one of my first specialties that I got was my post-rehab and prenatal stuff. So needless to say, I kind of know what's going on. Uh, so I knew all along that it was soft tissue stuff, it wasn't bone. I'm trying to explain to everybody it wasn't bone. The only difference is that ice instead of heat made a huge difference. So I haven't used the heating pad in probably 5-6 weeks maybe. Haven't used the heating pad actually since before AVN. But I will tell you, now I can say it. When I was at AVN and not being able to do a whole lot of walking, the fear of knowing that, what an athlete I had been all my life, and the thought of winding up in a wheelchair. And I will say, I have many friends. One of my brother's friends was a Major League Baseball player who wound up having a diving accident and wound up in a wheelchair, paralyzed. It's not the end of the world to wind up in a wheelchair, but that just isn't conducive being a personal trainer and also doing adult video. So not only would it had affected my life on so many levels, I definitely was not trying to be in a wheelchair. And although I am a grandmother, I don't like to be referred to as a granny, except for pun intended on porn videos. So on the granny shit. I fuck dudes half my age and they still can't keep up. I'm just saying. So it wasn't arthritis, it wasn't bone, it wasn't old age. It was the fact that, again, watching some of even bodybuilding's greatest heroes, Ronnie Coleman, going through, he's had 2 hip surgeries, he's had back surgeries, and watching the struggles. Bodybuilding, again, is not a healthy sport. It doesn't promote that we're going to wind up being the healthiest individuals in our old age. And one thing my father told me and my brother when we started bodybuilding back in the 70s of, oh, all those old bodybuilders become crippled. Damn, he was kind of right. But there's a good balance between working out, being athletic, lifting heavy, and finding moderation. So some of the stuff that I'm going to work on actually over the year is probably going to write a book about rehabbing injuries on your own, since I had actually struggled myself. I can't tell you that if I would have been a layman, not knowing what to do, it could have been worse. And it was to the point that even my doctor thought, from treatment to treatment, things were bouncing around, that we were going to have to go in and get imaging done, because worrying about whether there was other stuff that was going to go on that was in the hip. It just happened to be that I was diligent in trying not to go have an expensive image done, and then surgery definitely was not something I wanted to be facing. So I'm glad that everything all worked out well. Myofascial treatment is really hard to explain, but it's basically shoving fingers and tools in the soft tissue where your muscle is attached to your tendons and your tendons are attached to your bone. You always remember that, and that's the reason why staying flexible and stretching all the time is important, even if you're not an athlete. Those run-up drills and all that stuff are all for a reason. And I can kind of think that maybe one of the days that I ran track, and I did stretch, but I didn't stretch long enough, might be what the catalyst was that started this whole thing. And I was wearing a brand new pair of shoes that somebody had bought me. And again, they may have not have been the right pair of shoes to be running track. So letting this go on for too long is definitely the other issue. Had I probably seen this guy a year ago or a year and a half ago, but we wouldn't even be having this conversation. So things happen for a reason. If what I went through and writing the book that I'll write on helping other people go through soft tissue issues and whatnot, and bone issues, and how to recover and what to look for, that's where I'm going with that. And again, experience is key. That had I not been a personal trainer for nearly 20 some odd years, who knows, I'd be in a wheelchair today. I'm actually sitting now with bands on my thighs, clamshells and sidewalks and whatnot, for the rehab and whatnot. But I mean, over all the years of K-tape, so kinesiology, okay, so we've all had the discussion whether or not that tape really works. After 6 weeks of working with my doctor and the physical therapist and utilizing K-tape, I'm sold. So for a lot of us in the industry, we were like, does it really work? Isn't it just like psychosomatic or whatever? I'm sold. I'm sold. I was having a tough thing that even with the hip flexor and the glute being tight, pulling on the knee, and it's just because when I was walking, my glute muscles were not all properly working at the same time, so my piriformis was actually doing everything, and that was the reason why I was spasming. So when it got so tight that it was pulling on my knee really bad, the knee hurt. So my last treatment last week, I had her tape the knee. And I will say that all week long, having the tape on for like 5 days was amazing. Like, now I have very little pain in the knee. It's not pulling so tight. Now what I'm focusing on now is the low back had weakened while everything else wasn't working. So now it's just strengthening up my abs and my my low back, up across the top of the hip. It's a little tight, but it's definitely nowhere near. 3 weeks ago, I literally was still having issues walking, and couldn't even walk in the mall without feeling like, oh my God, this is awful. So happy to know I won't have to find some hot guy push me in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. And I tell people all the time, I was like, I could wrestle, I could fuck, I just can't walk. So now I can fuck, wrestle, and walk. How about that? So I'm thrilled. I'm going to do a video later on some other social issues. So, make sure you still keep following me here on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram, stunning_summer_, and see the progress with the video. The comeback is real. I'm working harder this year on producing a lot more awesome videos. I'm actually shooting a foot fetish video this weekend with somebody, not for my own production, but for theirs. I'm currently booking Florida, so if you are in Miami and you're a producer, hit me up. And if you're all over the rest of the United States, you can still hit me up at felineflix@gmail. If you're trying to book me for a meet and greet, that's stunningsummer.net. I don't meet with just anybody. So again, DMing me on Instagram. I'm not here to be your girlfriend. I'm not looking for a husband. I'm not looking for a business partner because I can do all that on my own. Been there, done that, learned it the hard way that a lot of men are not here for studying summer. They're here to fuck studying summer for free. I ain't free. No woman should be free. Dinner costs, movies cost, cell phones cost, all that. Women hit you in the head anyway. Too many guys want to live off of women. That's not a man. So I don't fuck with any guy that wants to live off of me for free. And we all know that if you're a real, you say you're, oh, all these men, I'm a king. Show me. Paper, baby, paper, paper, paper. People who get mad about deposits. I charge 100% on my personal training before you ever get to train with me in the gym. So why would you think I would shoot a custom video and you can chit chat with me in DM for free? That doesn't work. It works pay up front first, then you get the product. My name is too big for me to fuck my name up and my reputation up by pulling some highway shiest and take you for a measly $100 or whatever. So again, if you're looking to meet with me, it's stunningsummer.net. If you're trying to film with me, it's felineflix@gmail.com. Namaste.